So we're first publishing the first clip, which is the 20th. And tell us the time stamp on this video.
The timestamp on the video currently is 3:06 p.m. on February 20th, 2024.
And in your investigation, first of all, have you had the opportunity to actually see Diego Ibarra in person?
Yes.
And so do you know him when you see him?
I do.
And do you see him in this video?
We will see him in this video.
All right, we'll just let it play. We'll just let it play.
Diego Ibarra is currently on the screen.
Okay, well, I'll wait till he gets a little closer to the screen.
While this is happening, I promised the media I would tell them when they could publish, when they could view things. This is one they can start reviewing.
Yes, sir. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. They
All right.
wait, and then if I could tell my family so they can come back.
That'll be fine.
While we're playing. It is paused. I'm pausing it at 3:08 p.m. Who is that individual?
That is Diego Ibarra.
What do you see him wearing and carrying?
He's wearing white shoes, black pants, a gray t-shirt, and a gray baseball cap. He's holding a gray, small gray backpack.
Does he have tattoos on his neck?
He does.
Do you see those in this video?
I do.
Please point those out for the court. Use the pointer next to you. It's right next to you.
Tattoos can be observed on the back of his neck here.
Okay.
There's also one behind his ear here.
Thank you. Does that complete the 20th clip?
It does.
What was his shift time at this dining hall?
His shift was from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And I want to go to the next day, February 21st.
Correct.
I'm going to play that at this point. What are we looking at here at 4:22?
There's also Diego Ibarra arriving to work at Bolton Dining Hall.
What's he wearing?
White shoes, black pants, a gray t-shirt, a red and white baseball cap, a small gray backpack, and a blue jacket.
I want to ask you questions about that jacket when we see it in a little different position. And the backpack. Back it up a little bit. This at 4:42 p.m. is where I am in the video on the 21st. The backpack that you see in that video, is it same or different than one that Jose Ibarra was published on his social media?
It's different.
Okay, let me find that photo real quick so you can tell us how. Yes, it's too. handing you State's Exhibit 247. It's already been admitted. Are you familiar with that image and that person?
I am.
Who is that person in 247?
This is a photo of Jose Ibarra.
And you see him with a bag in that photo.
I do.
Is it the same bag that we see here?
No.
Okay. How are they different?
Diego Ibarra's backpack is slightly larger. It also has 2 shoulder straps on it. This bag is smaller and has a single strap.
And as the investigator in this case, the GBI, did you personally, and many GBI agents along with you, look for that bag that you see in State's Exhibit 247?
Yes.
Did you ever find it?
No.
Now publishing the 2/21/24 clock out video. What time is it now?
The timestamp shows 10:58 p.m. on February 21st, 2024.
Who do we see now in the frame at 10:59?
That is Diego Ibarra.
Okay, I want to talk to you about this jacket. So this jacket that we see him put on, I'm going to ask you some questions after we watch it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it have a hood?
It does.
Okay. Does it have an emblem on it?
It has an emblem on the rear of the jacket at the top right shoulder.
When you see that emblem, I want you to tell me to stop the video.
Okay. We can stop now.
Okay, you see the emblem?
I do.
Point it out.
The emblem is located right here.
And what type of emblem is that?
It appears to be a logo for North Face.
And you're familiar and you have seen the jacket that was recovered in the dumpster in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a North Face jacket?
No, ma'am.
Is this a different jacket?
It is.
Does that complete the 21st?
It does.
Did Diego Ibarra go to work on February 22nd at 2024?
Yes, he did.
And what time do you see him on video on that day?
Mr. Ibarra is shown clocking into work at approximately 3:57 p.m.
So at 3:57 p.m. on the 22nd day of February of 2024, where were you?
I was at the crime scene.
Had Laken Riley's body already been discovered?
Yes.
Had you, ACCPD, GBI, University of Georgia Police Department, had all of y'all already responded to the scene?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many police officers do you think, state, federal, and local, had descended upon the University of Georgia at about this time?
I would have a difficult time putting an accurate number on that, but it was numerous law enforcement.
More than one?
Yes, more than one.
More than 10?
Yes, ma'am.
If a person were on this campus on that day, would they know something's up?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Bolton Hall, is that on the University of Georgia campus?
It is.
Okay. So he shows up to work at what time?
He shows up to work at approximately 3:57 p.m.
And I'm going to stop it right there. 3:57 p.m., what is he wearing?
He's wearing white shoes, black pants, a gray t-shirt, a black and red baseball cap, and he has a small gray backpack. He also just deposited a gray or white jacket into the locker.
On that day, is he wearing a black Adidas baseball cap?
No, ma'am.
Is that Diego Ibarra again at 3:59?
It is.
And the last clip now at 2:22:24. What time are we at?
Timestamp shows 11:03 p.m.
Do you see Diego Ibarra again?
Yes.
What's he wearing?
White shoes, black pants, gray t-shirt, currently wearing a black Georgia visor, and he's holding a white towel.
What's he putting on now?
A gray or white hoodie and a red and black baseball cap.
On the 22nd day of February 2024, do you see him wearing a black Adidas hat?
No, ma'am.
Still see Diego Ibarra there?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examined.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Agent Byer, you were speaking with Ms. Ross about the crime scene, and I kind of want to start there. You were explaining your rationale for not testing some of the swabs taken from Laken Riley. Was it your call what was sent to the GBI lab in this case?
All evidence that was collected, including the swabs, were sent to the lab. We had collaborative discussions with the lab and amongst the investigative team what we would request to be tested. There was also input by lab personnel on things that they would not test.
Okay. And so the decisions were made by a combination of you and other GBI personnel, you would say?
That's correct.
Okay. So I want to talk to you about some black gloves. Did you ever observe black gloves collected from the residence where Jose Ibarra lived?
I did not personally see them, but I am aware of them, yes.
Okay. Are you aware that they were not found in a box, but they were found in a drawer?
Yes.
Okay. You went to Bolton Dining Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. While you were there, did you ask to see what kind of kitchen gloves they used?
I did not.
You were aware that Diego worked at Bolton Dining, as we've just discussed?
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to clarify for the record the times you mentioned him clocking in on each day. On February 20th, he clocks in at 3:08 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
February 21st, he clocks in at 4:43 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
And on February 22nd, he clocks in at 3:57 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
How far is Bolton Dining Hall from Diego's apartment?
Approximately 10 minutes.
And is 10 minutes a drive or a walk?
According to Diego, he generally took a bus or he had a friend take him.
And were you able to confirm that there was a bus route that could have transported him from near his apartment to Bolton Dining Commons?
Yes, ma'am.
And would that bus route include the stop near Rogers Road, that bus stop for UGA buses?
Yeah, it would.
Okay. So he regularly used that bus stop?
Yes, ma'am.
And sorry, you said it was about 10 minutes, you said?
Approximately, yes, ma'am.
You were at the back to the woods. You were at the crime scene for several hours, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
And did Tim Stewart from the Athens Police Department ever come by the crime scene?
Yes, ma'am.
What time was that?
That was early on. He was, I believe he may have been at the crime scene when I initially got there. At some point, he departed the scene.
Would that have been like 3 p.m. or?
Yes, ma'am. It was early on.
Okay. And you mentioned that several male individuals had attempted to render aid to Laken Riley without gloves. Were those the initial responding UGA police officers?
Yes, Sergeant Maxwell, Corporal Bridges, and Sergeant Epps.
Are you aware if the EMS personnel wore gloves when they handled her?
They did. The body camera depicts the firefighters and the paramedics wearing gloves.
And you mentioned you had a chance to, in detail, observe Ms. Riley's body.
Yes, ma'am.
And did you notice that she had fingernails that stuck out from her fingers a little bit?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you notice that there was blood on the inside of the fingernails?
Not personally. I didn't get that close. I didn't want to disrupt the scene
Sure.
beyond what I needed to as a case agent.
Did you review the photos later?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they show that there was blood underneath her fingernails?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it fair to say you were kind of in charge of and aware of any investigative action taken by the GBI in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're aware of that there were 2 interviews conducted with Juan Carlos,
Yes, ma'am.
and one of those was on February 22nd, the day, or sorry, February 23rd, the day that you all got involved.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a follow-up done, I believe, in March. Was it March 4th?
I believe it was March 4th. If I can reference my notes
You may.
momentarily, I can give you confirmation of that. Yes, Monday, March 4th was the follow-up.
Similarly, Arhannes was interviewed on February 23rd,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you were involved in a follow-up interview with him.
That's correct.
And what day was that follow-up interview?
That follow-up interview was conducted on, one moment please, I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Friday, March 1st.
Are you aware the follow-up interview was done with Diego Ibarra?
It was not.
You're aware that GBI agents found black and orange latex gloves at a trash can across from the apartment on February 23rd?
Yes, that particular trash can was across South, I believe it's South Millage Avenue, near a gas station.
Were those gloves collected?
I believe so, yes.
Were they tested?
That I do not know. Those gloves were determined to not be of evidentiary value because they were most likely associated with law enforcement personnel that had been in the area. On the 23rd, there were...
Did you review footage to confirm that?
Not personally, no ma'am.
And then you're also aware that there were some discarded clothes found near the intramural fields on February 23rd?
There were some discarded clothes that were located behind the Argo apartment complex near a walking trail. I am aware of the collection of those clothes. I also observed the officer's body camera of the collection of those clothes.
And were those clothes tested?
They were not. The clothes were determined to have been lying on the ground for an extended period of time. I did discuss those clothes with crime scene and forensic personnel, and we determined that it was unnecessary to test those clothes because they were not of evidentiary value.
The contents of Diego's bag, did you ask that those items be tested,
No, ma'am.
including the black gloves that were found in them?
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
Was there any observable blood on Diego's black gloves that were in his bag?
No, there was not.
And if there was, would you have sent those to the crime lab?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say you used the word Argo Apartments. Does it also have another name?
It does.
Can you tell us that name, please, for the record?
The name of the apartment complex at the time of the incident was Celio at Azalyuk. It is also currently known as the Grove at 5 Points.
And you were asked about clothing that was recovered near there, and you said something about it had been on the ground for some time. What do you mean by that? What did you observe?
The clothing had vegetative matter on it, sticks, leaves, twigs, pine straw. and the clothes appeared to have been wet several times and dried out several times, and they had the appearance of older articles of clothing that had been lying on the ground for an extended period of time.
And if there were any blood on that clothing, would you have sent it to the crime lab?
Absolutely.
And Diego was interviewed by you, is that right?
That's correct.
What was the date?
That interview was conducted on Friday, February 23rd, 2024.
And did you ask him questions?
I did.
And did he answer your questions?
He did.
And the gloves that were recovered inside Jose Ibarra's apartment D126, were they in a common area where anyone could access them?
Yes.
And the trail cam video from 2/22 of 24, the one at Building S, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
You're familiar with that video?
I am.
Do you see Diego on that video at all that day?
No.
May I have one moment with counsel?
Yes. Anything else, Ms. Beck?
Just one minute, Your Honor. When you interviewed Diego Ibarra, you had a chance to observe his demeanor,
Yes, ma'am.
and he was not particularly helpful.
He answered all of my questions. We conducted an interview for approximately an hour and a half. He was calm. He was generally respectful. He answered all of my questions.
But you would agree that he was not particularly helpful.
I don't know if I would agree with that statement. If he answered my questions and he agreed to talk to me and we conducted that conversation for an hour and a half, I would say that was helpful and an overall positive interview.
But you chose not to re-interview him later.
I did request to re-interview him later. He is represented by counsel on some unrelated charges, and I requested permission to interview him from his attorney and was denied that opportunity.
Just a moment. I don't have any further questions.
Just briefly, the unrelated charges, are they in federal court?
They are.
And what are the charges?
They are possession of a fraudulent green card.
And in your hour and a half that you spent with Diego on the 23rd day of February 2024, did he appear to be injured to you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see, it looked like he had been in a fight or anything?
No, ma'am.
Did you see any scratches on him?
I did not.
That's all I have.
Anything else, Ms. Beck?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Can he be excused?
Yes, yes, sir, but maybe hold for rebuttal. I'll work it out with him.
Okay. You can go down.
Thank you, Judge.